What's going on, guys and girls? We're here playing some more of The Witness, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to complete the Keep trophy. So this one is, we've just finished a Shady Tree laser, so what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the Keep one and activate that laser. So from the Shady Tree you just head across here, and this is the castle. It's obviously, this is what's called the Keep, and what you want to do is you just want to head inside the front door right here. And once you get through the door, you'll find a massive tower in front of you. I think that's technically what's called the Keep. And there is a bunch of mazes on this side. Now, there is a little strange thing to this one. I'll explain that a bit later. But first of all, that is where the laser is going to come out of, at the top of that building. And then this is the first maze. So basically what you have to do is, in this one, there are a bunch of ways that have been blocked off by these little gates. And so basically when you get through this maze, there will be a door at the end with the panel on it, and you have to basically recreate your steps on the panel. So when we entered this maze, we started at the bottom down here, and we came across and we went all the way up to the second to last one, and then we came down a little bit, and then we came up and into the finish like that. And that is how you finish this maze, that first one. So the second one, what you want to do is you want to head in here, and this time you have to avoid the long grass. So you have to go through the path that doesn't have any long grass in it. So as you can see right in front of me right here, there's a bit of long grass. I can't walk across that, and so I have to go that way. So there is some little bits of long grass everywhere else, but as long as it's not completely blocking your way, then you can head through it. So for this one, what you want to do is you recreate your steps the way you got through the maze. So you just have to really make sure that you're concentrating on where you're going, and this is the path that we took, and this is how we got out. And once you get through the end, that is it. So what we want to do is we want to head to the next one. So now this one is all based on sound. So if you listen really carefully, when I'm walking on here, it will change. So that sound is now different to this. So there you go. So what we want to do is we want to follow the bits that don't go onto that heavy crunching sound. So we just want to have the light foot sound. And so what we want to do is we just want to head this way, and this is the path through this one. And when we get to the end, we have to once again recreate our steps. So this is where we started, and we just turned right immediately up here, and then we went straight up all the way up to this top bit, and then we came down a little bit, and then we went into the exit. And that is that one there. Now the last one is probably the most tricky one, obviously, because it is the last one. What you want to do is you want to recreate your steps, but basically the maze is different to the panel on the wall. So I'm just going to go up to the panel on the wall. This is not the correct way of getting to it. I'm just going to go up here and show you that this maze, this panel is different to the maze, and so there is only one path through this that is exactly the same as the panel. So this is the path we're going to go through. So you come in through the gate and you head across to here, and then you go up a little bit when I decide to do that, and then you come across all the way to the side, and then you just come across and then up this way. Now you have to recreate that in here. So basically what we did is we started from the start, we came across to the middle section, then we went up a little bit, and then we went across to the side, we went up a little bit, and that is basically the thing. So now what you want to do is you want to make sure you have a record of each of those mazes, the way that you got through it, because basically you're going to have to recreate all of those panels on one panel. So I'll explain that a bit more once you get to the top. So what I recommend you do is either go to each of those panels and write them down, like draw them down and make sure you have them as a record, or take photos of them so that you know exactly what the panels looked like, basically, because you're going to have to recreate it on this panel right here. So basically from the start, we start in the middle right there, and we came all the way down to the bottom, because that was just the main, like that's where you entered through the gates, basically, and you come down to the bottom, and then we're going to head across to the first maze that we went through, and basically we're going to have to recreate that maze, that panel, that first panel from the first maze, and that's going to exit out there, and then we have to recreate the second one. So this is the way we went through the second one, and then go into the third one. So basically you just have to make sure you have to make sure that you have a record of what you just did so that you can just follow this through. And once you get to the end, so we're just a little bit further, it will unlock the laser. Once we get to the end there. So that's basically just connecting all of the maze, all of the panels that we just did into one panel. And there we go, there's the trophy, the keep one. It is a silver trophy because it's super easy to get once you understand. It's a bit of sideways thinking, some of it. And so we're just going to watch the laser go up, but there is a second part to this. As you can see, there's another panel on the other side, and there's actually another 4 mazes on the other side. So once this laser goes up, I'm actually probably wasting a bit of time here. But anyway, there are another 4 mazes that you have to kind of set out. They're not the same sort of maze, they're quite different actually. But once you do it, that panel will be open and you'll be able to do it, but then nothing happens once you do that panel. So what I guess is happening is it's an either or situation. You can either do the 4 mazes at the front and do that panel, or you can do the 4 mazes out the back and do that panel. I'm not too sure if that's the case or if this actually does something else later on in the game that I have no idea about, but from what I understand is you can do the first 4 and you get that trophy, and then you can either do these other 4 and maybe get the trophy, or you can just do both of them, and I don't know what the last 4 do, but they might do something, I don't know. So basically I'm just going to show you how to get through these. These are actually pretty simple as well. They do require a bit more knowledge of the game. So basically this one over here is going to take into effect the dot system. So basically what you do is you have to get through this maze and get to the end by going over all the dots. But the way you draw it, you don't actually draw it, you walk on the platform in front of us. And then if you want to reset the platform because you made a mistake or something like that, you just do that and all the platforms will reset. So we have to start this over here. So basically the path that I chose to go along was to go down here. And there are multiple ways of doing this, I'm pretty sure. So you don't have to actually do the same pattern. But if it doesn't work, you can always just use this pattern that I came across. So what you want to do is you actually want to go down this way. I actually lost track of where I was going. And I was like, oh, do I go this way or that way? And you do go this way. I did end up getting it correct. I just kind of forgot about what I was doing, what the maze was meant to look like. So as you can see, I did it correctly. The door opened. And if I just run back to the panel over here, you will be able to see exactly what I've done. It is very hard to see because it's a black line on a black line, which is kind of stupid, but anyway, doesn't really matter. You'd think they'd make it yellow, just like the planet, the floor bits. And this one, so this is taking into account the separation, so you have to separate the colors, so you have to separate the whites from the blacks. If that sentence was said in any other context, you would probably think I'm racist. But because it's a puzzle game, that's basically what you have to do. And so what you want to do is you just want to make sure you've separated them. So this is the path that I decided to take. And then just come down here. And I don't think you stand on the black bit, the spot of black paint on one of those panels, the floor panels. And then just come across here, and that's going to separate all of the colors from each other. This next part over here is going to take into effect a rule that I haven't taught you yet, a rule that we haven't learned unless you've already done it without watching these videos. So this one is, I'm just going to explain it quickly. Basically what you have to do is you have to recreate the shapes as the line. So basically for this one there is a 3 along the bottom and 1 across the tops, and so what you have to do is you have to recreate that somehow within this area. So that's what we're going to be doing. So you can either do that and that will recreate that shape. On for this one there are 4, so if you just draw a line straight across there, it will separate that shape basically from the rest of it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to walk to the start point, and then we're going to recreate that shape. So we're just going to walk all the way over here, and then we're going to go up 2, and then across 1, and then back down, so that shape is going to be put on the board. And then we're just going to walk up here. Now what you can do here is you can activate that, and then come across, and make sure you don't walk on any of the other panels yet. I was just thinking about this. I was like, wait, how did I do this before? And what you do is you walk down here, and then you just walk on this panel over here, and that will continue it on. So it'll work. It totally works. It's just maybe not the way that they expected you to do it. So I'm just going to go back to that panel just to show you exactly what it's like. It is another black on grey, so you can kind of see what I mean by I've recreated those shapes. So there you go, that's that first shape, and then this is the other shape, and they have the yellow dots, the yellow squares have to be within that shape. So this one is another one, except for the fact that the shapes are on an angle, and basically what that means is you can do them in any orientation. So you can have that, you have to have that shape, but you can have it like standing upright or lying down on its side. Basically like Tetris, you can switch it around a little bit. So we're just going to walk across here, and we're going to go up. And this is also one of the mirroring ones, so it's actually mirroring our effect. So when we go over to here, you can see on the other side we've basically done the same thing because it's been a mirror effect. And that unlocks the door. So what we're going to do is we're going to head out here. Now this one is slightly different with the back panel, with the final panel. You don't have to recreate the exact same shape that you did in here, but you do have to follow all of the rules that we just went through. So you've got the dots, and then you've got the colors that you have to separate, and then you have to do the shapes, the two sets of shapes. So basically you have to do the same thing. This has multiple solutions. I've actually seen someone else solve this completely different to the way I did. So you can do this in multiple ways, but you just have to make sure that you follow all the rules. So this is the way that I'm going to do it. I'm going to get that black dot, then I'm going to separate this white out, and then I'm going to come down and make sure I separate the blacks away from the other whites. So we're going to come down here, we're going to go all the way down to the bottom as far as we can, and then we're going to collect this other dot. So now that those black dots are now separated, and now we're going to go up here and separate the whites from the blacks again, and just go up to the top, and then we're going to come across and make this shape here, and then we're going to come down and make sure we make this shape. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to join two shapes. So we've got we've got the line one, and then we've got the L shape. So that's the line, and now we're making the L shape, so we actually have to go down one more to make sure we get that shape properly. So you got the line and the L, and then we have to make the second L shape, and we're just going to swap it around the orientation because we can do that. And that is how you complete that panel. And as you can see, I have no idea what it does. It doesn't seem to do anything. So you can either complete this one and it will unlock the laser, or you can complete the other one and it will unlock the laser. I'm not particularly sure, or if it does something else later on in the game, it might do that. I have no idea what it does. So that's what I'm going to do for this video. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys have now been able to complete this trophy, and now it's time for me to say see you guys and girls.